What's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of the Tough Runs Don't Last podcast. I'm Grandpa on this screen. That's Michelle on the other. Say what's poppin', Michelle.
What's poppin', Michelle?
We got a few things to discuss. You and I took part in a 2 mile race over the weekend, and we'll also talk about a little bit about what we did after and some what else is on the calendar for us. But before we do that, let's give a quick shout out to our sponsor. The Tough Runs Don't Last podcast is presented by Rhino Races. Rhino Races is a virtual race series that offers 5 different races: a 5K, 10K, half marathon, a marathon, and the one of a kind Rhino Ultra. You can sign up for one or all 5 of their races at rhinoraces.com. Run your race at your convenience, track it with your fitness app of choice, screenshot your results as proof of completion. Submit that screenshot to rhinoraces.com under the submit results section. Once your results are verified by Rhino Races staff, your reward will be shipped to you by mail. Also, check out their gear section for t-shirts, wristbands, decals, and more. That's rhinoraces.com. Rhino Races is the premier virtual running series, and you can find us, the Tough Runs Don't Last podcast, on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Subscribe to the YouTube channel and follow us on X, Instagram, and TikTok at TR Don't Last. All right, so you and I did a 2 mile race yesterday in your hometown, Benton, and it was mostly flat.
Mostly flat.
Yeah, well, those slight, there was no massive hills or anything like that, but just a slight incline when you're running a 2 mile race. You can tell all the difference in the world in that
Yes.
slight incline. I very much could.
Same.
And yes, you and I, yeah, we both ran it.
Mhm.
Um, I came in a little bit before you did,
A little bit. Just a little bit, though.
a little bit, and uh, I don't know. I had a good run just for me personally. I had a goal of I don't know. I finished around where I thought I would. Had a little bit of an ambitious goal, but one that I thought was realistic. And I came in slightly slower than that, but all in all, finished about where I thought I would and should, and got Italian ice afterwards. I mean, got what you didn't eat, so
Yeah.
worked out in the end for me anyway. How was your experience at the race yesterday?
So this was my first time running the 2 mile race here. But I did the chase race in Conway back in March. Yesterday was very hot and humid. It wasn't super hot at 7:30 in the morning, but it was very humid. And we've talked about this before. I don't like running when it's hot and humid. So that was hard for me. I went in with a goal of 27 minutes. That was my goal at the chase race as well. But my thought process was I was probably going to be slower because of the humidity. However, I was faster than the chase race. At chase race, I finished in 26 minutes and 5 seconds. And this time I finished in 25 minutes and 31 seconds. So 30, what? That's what, 34 seconds faster?
What was your time at? What were the times again? Let's check your math.
26, 26:05 and
Okay.
25:31.
Okay. What is that, Michelle?
I don't know.
That's a 34-second difference.
Okay, I was
That
right. I was
you're
right.
faster. Is that what you said?
Yeah,
Okay. I had kind of tuned out the times that you were. I just wasn't processing it. I just know you were faster this time around.
I was. I was.
I did both races last year, and it was the same experience for me. I was faster at the Benton 2 miler than I was at Chase Race. Chase Race this year, I was faster than any other time I think I did last year. Yes, because I came in slightly above 14 minutes in both races last year. I was 13:58 at Chase Race, or I think that was my official chip time, 13:58. Yesterday, I came in chip time 13:44, and so faster. And see, I had a goal of it going. I said I'm going to try to go a 6:45 pace just throughout. My goal is a 6:45 pace just from start to finish. At mile one, I saw the mile marker and I checked my watch at mile one. It was 6:42. So I was even then I register, okay, I'm slightly faster, but I'm kind of on point. If anything, I got a little bit of room, to go a little bit slower. I got about 1.3 miles in and realized I can't keep doing this. I cannot do this for 3 more laps. And that sounds like sitting in the recliner. Sitting here thinking, surely you could do it for just 3 more laps. No, I couldn't. I was gassed. I was very gassed at that point. So I basically slowed it down to a 7 minute pace. I turned it on at the very end, and we'll talk about this too. I turned it on at the very end for a couple of reasons. One, it was the very end, so you get that natural, just adrenaline boost seeing the finish line because you know you're there. Even when you think you have nothing left, when you see the finish line, you get a little extra oomph in you. And I want to talk about this later, stuff that we kind of think, process, and listen to during an actual race itself, especially one that's fast like that. This one, I something like this, and this is at every race, whether it's a marathon or a 1 mile race. I can't not so much a 1 mile because I feel like somebody's on my tail no matter what in a 1 mile race. Something like a 2 mile, like yesterday, I was listening for a couple of things. I was listening to the people around me, and I was listening in particular. If they say like a singular or plural thing, like it was like, "Great job, man." I was listening for that, and then somebody said, "Great job, y'all." So I knew someone was behind me. So I turned it up a little bit extra more, or that made no sense. I turned it up a little bit. I gave it a little bit more than I normally would have, even though I felt like I was giving my all. I had just that much more to push through at the end. So I pay attention to that and listen because my body naturally wants to slow down, but I have to fight that. And just that little bit of motivation can be enough to keep me going or pushing even harder. Just something as little as listening for like a plural, like if they are cheering on a group or like one or like multiple people or just me, and they were cheering a couple of people. The second person, by the way, was a good ways back. They were almost a good. They were I don't know anywhere 12 to 14 seconds later, which is a long time in a race like that. So, but still, they said great job, y'all, and so I'm thinking, somebody's behind me. I got to turn it up and finish harder than I'm doing going now. But I listened to stuff like that, but it ended up like I thought it would. Really, I 6:45 pace was the goal. I maintained that as much as I could. Couldn't keep it up though, but still, all in all, I was pretty happy with it, and the Italian ice after.
Yeah. I went in with doing 45-25 intervals. So the goal was to run for 45 seconds, walk for 25 seconds. And I would say it was about at the mile because that's about where the little hill was. My intervals got all messed up because I could not do that anymore. So at one point I was running for 25 seconds and walking for 45 seconds, and then I had to like flip myself back. And so that was also my experience at about the same point where I was like, I can't do this. I can't keep this pace anymore anyway. And I had to figure something else out.
I think that's the first race I've seen you run in short sleeves, by the way.
That's not true. I just typically have a jacket and will take the jacket off. I walked the half marathon in a tank top. I very rarely stay just in long sleeves.
I've only seen you in long sleeves, but I also only see you at the beginning too. But
Exactly.
you even walked out. I picked you up to go to the race, and you walked out in a jacket. And I'm thinking, really, it's mid-June, and you're
I
walking out in
did.
a jacket.
In my head, so the weather, it said that it was 72 degrees. And for some reason in my head, I was like, oh, that's a little chilly. 72 is not chilly.
No, it's not at all.
But in my head, I was like, oh, it's a little chilly. I'll want a jacket before the race starts. And I opened my door and took one step out and I said, no.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah.
It was way too warm for that.
Yes.
Uh, so I'll warm up before a race. I used to not. I used to think warm ups were done because I was thinking, do they know we're about to go run multiple miles? There's plenty of time to warm up. I always do better if I warm up beforehand. Now, if it's a like a half marathon or above, I kind of understand not because you can get in a stride, and I mean you do kind of warm up as the race progresses. But something like a 2 mile race, yeah, you or 1 mile, you definitely need to warm up. I did a 2 mile warm up yesterday, which wasn't the plan. I did the plan is always a 1 mile warm up at a 9-ish pace. Pace, wow,
Hey.
9-ish pace, anywhere between 8:30 and 9. Uh, and like we finished up. I was running with my run club president and her son, and then her son finished up, and Courtney's her name. She said, "I'm gonna, I'm gonna I'm gonna do another mile," and I just thought, well, I guess I will too. And so I ended up doing an extra mile, and so I was nice and sweaty by the start of the race. But we had about 14 minutes, I think, to spare before the start of the race. I got to tie my shoes a little bit tighter, double knot them, get them ready to go, shoot the breeze with a couple people I know, and then it was time to run. And it went like I went. It went about as expected. I had a goal, didn't quite reach it, but at the same time, I I technically PR'd at least as an adult. That was the thing. I was asked yesterday, what's your 2 mile PR? And I responded with as an adult because the 2 mile was my main event in high school track, and back then I was much faster than I am now. But yeah, as an adult, I hit a PR officially yesterday of 13:44. So I'm pleased with that. Plenty to be happy about there. Second in my age group, which is cool, I suppose.
Yeah.
The winning times, though, by the way, insanely fast.
I saw the first place guy finish. I had not even
Hang on. How'd
I
you
was
see him finish?
because that's where I was and I could see the finish line like the little curve.
Okay. See, I saw him uh, on the comeback as you're going up to the turnaround. I could see him on the way back, and yeah, he was moving. Now this guy, I think he's 20 years old. He's an absolute machine runner. Like blows the competition away at every race he's been. He's won every race he's been to in the Grand Prix I've seen. And the winning time yesterday, what 9:30 exactly? Chip
9
time
minutes, 30 seconds. It was 9:30:36 was official time.
9:30.36 is what
Yeah.
you're saying. Yeah, and second place, that dude won the Grand Prix last year. That he picked up in the series halfway through the season, ended up winning the thing. So he was showing up and just blowing away the competition. Yeah, came in 9:45, so 15 seconds slower. Not a time to be ashamed of by any
No.
means. Still super fast.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's how good the guy that won it yesterday was. He's incredible. He's fun to watch run. That's talent. That's talent, genetics, all the above. All the good things combined, that's that kid. And
Yeah.
dude, kid, 20 years old. But killing it, absolutely. Fun to watch, fun to see on the way back. It's like, wow, that's what awesomeness looks like. As I'm dad bodding my way through the race and killing it for like me, you know. I felt like I ran a good race. I didn't look completely dumb in some of the photos that were sent to me of me running yesterday. I did show my niece some of those today and just the faces I made. So I kind of like that. It's like, okay, I was running hard because sometimes I'll finish and I think I could have gone a little bit faster. And then I like look at those. No, I couldn't. In the moment, I was like, hey, I can't go any faster than this. But when you're away from it and you're comfortable, it's like, man, maybe I could have gone a little bit faster. But
Yeah.
no, I went as hard as I could yesterday, and I'm happy with the result.
Yeah, it was just too humid for me. Like I did the best that I could. I'm not mad with my time. I did come in sixth in my age group. Now you might be like, Michelle, wow, that's so great. There were six people in my age group. So
And
I
you got
came in
six.
last.
And it was and at a championship event, like Grand Prix event, they give awards five deep. So
They
first
do.
through fifth place in the age group, they give an award. And you were the one person that didn't get an award.
The one person.
Does that leave you a little salty, or is it just kind of funny at that point?
No, it's funny to me. Because I did what I could. I mean, I saw the person who came in fifth. I knew I couldn't beat her. She's doing a lot of training and she's running a lot and I cannot keep up with her. She also does intervals, but she does much longer intervals than I do. So I think she's up to like 90 seconds or something like that, which is great for her.
Yeah. Well, you got just three fewer points than I did yesterday.
Yeah,
And we don't have to get into how the point system works, but just
it's
know that Michelle got
confusing.
only three. She got 21 points yesterday. I got 24. So on paper, I mean, you killed it.
Yeah.
All right. Uh, let's rate the Italian ice
Okay.
after that we got after. I don't have the card in front of me, but that's the I've had Italian ice a couple of times. I had one time where it was not good at all. It was just some I'm guessing it was some guy that bought it somewhere and then just decided to resell it and just didn't do a good job of storing it or whatever, and it just wasn't good.
Mhm.
Uh, Definitely not worth the $8 he charged me for it. But I had this same company was at the same race last year, and I remember it being that was the first time I had it. No. They were there, and I skipped it. I didn't have it because I was going to Hot Springs, and there was a long line, and I didn't place or anything, so I was thinking, I don't want to wait that long. I'll just get in the car and get a head start to Hot Springs. So I had Dexter with me too. So I was thinking it's that much longer. He's got to sit out in the heat. No, I'll just go ahead and hit the road. But they were at the Arkansas 20K, which is pretty much the same area, start finish, same uh, same company. I was like, I can't believe I skipped this at the Arkansas 2 mile. This stuff is amazing. And so, yeah, no drop off there. Absolute 9 point, I'll say 9.8 out of 10, just in case I have something that is slightly better, but I don't see how you could do slightly better than that. So that's almost a 10 out of 10. I'm going to go 9.8 out of 10 as far as my scoring through the Italian ice goes. I had the pina colada. I almost got the mango just because it looked good and I really like mango. But you probably couldn't go wrong no matter what you got. It was incredible.
Yeah. I'm gonna upset you a little bit. And I think it was because I got pina colada as well. I should have stuck with I wanted strawberry, and then you said, I think they have pina colada, and I was like, oh, that sounds good. So I went with that. I think I should have stuck with strawberry. I'm gonna give it like a 4.2.
That's ridiculous.
I
That's absolutely ridiculous.
yeah, because I did not
Out
like
of
the flavor.
10,
Yes.
if you don't like coconut, why did you get something that's clearly coconut?
I do like coconut. I like pina
You
colada flavored, but I did not like that pina colada.
crazy.
So,
I'm gonna just say if you want to strike that vote out for those of you listening and just not take it serious, I'm just want you to know I support that because that's a ridiculous score. It was absolutely delicious. I think you're just more so mad that you didn't get the flavor that you originally thought about getting. And so you're taking it out on the pina colada flavor.
I just wasn't a huge fan. I loved the texture of the Italian ice. I think that with a different flavor, it would have been really good for me. It just wasn't, the pina colada wasn't for me, and that's okay. People are entitled to their own opinions.
You're correct. That's okay, but your score is not okay.
That
That's
is
absolutely
that is
ridiculous.
my opinion. I am allowed to have that opinion.
You can have that opinion. That score is still ridiculous. It's a
It's
9.8 out of 10. Delicious. And 4.2. If I would have accepted anything seven, like the seven's probably the lowest I would have accepted.
I told
6.8, I would
you.
have had 6.8, I would have had a problem with. 4.2 is nuts. That's crazy.
I told you that I was gonna upset you. You're just gonna have to deal with it. I'm
Well,
not
you're right.
changing my score.
You're right about that. That's a ridiculous score. 9.8 is the score we're going with. Italian Ice. Um, I'd plug this company, but I'm not going to now because you just, for lack of a better word, shit on them. You just shit on the company.
I did not. It was the flavor. I am 100% owning that I just did not like that flavor.
Ridiculous score. It's when you're breaking up with somebody and you say it's not you, it's me.
Mhm.
It's you, Michelle. You're right. That's crazy. Crazy score.
Well, it is what it is.
It's yeah, it's on the internet now. It's forever. I hope you. It, I wouldn't be able to sleep at night with putting out a score like that on something that was just absolutely delicious. That's crazy. But all right, let's move on. Move on before I get fired up. All right, other thing I wanted to talk about, and I actually thought of this. I thought of this in the shower yesterday of stuff I wanted to talk about today, of something I wanted to talk about. But I thought it even in the moment during the race yesterday, and I've thought of it I've thought of it at times during races, especially even ones where I'm uncomfortable, as in running pretty hard, where you find your stride, but it's uncomfortable just because of the effort you're putting into it. Stuff that you think about and goes through your head during a race, like not training, anything like that. Because training, you're not going all out. You're going whatever you're going, 70%, 70, 80%, whatever it is. And you can find a stride usually and just find a comfort zone. You can find a way to be comfortably uncomfortable, is how I like to put it. Uh, Something like a 2 mile race is really just hurting for 2 miles. It's just pain. It's just what's my pain tolerance for 2 miles? And how can I block that out, or what can I think about to maybe take my mind off of it, or just what am I thinking in general? What is that for you? Let's just say yesterday and a race in general, but let's start with yesterday. Well, what was going through your head in the moment?
Yesterday, there was a lot of things going through my head. My head never shuts up. But one, it was, how has this not been 45 seconds yet? I've been running for at least 2 minutes. This has not been 45 seconds. Where is the beep? Like that was just like a solid, this was not. And then kind of the opposite is like, there's no way that was 25 seconds. Like that was only 10 seconds when I was walking. So that was one thing. And then when I got off, I was like, you just have to make it to the next light pole. Just make it to the next light pole. You can do it. Just make it to the next light pole. That was a constant thing. Um, there were at the first little hill, we were passing people, like that was when people were going the other way, almost done. And they were like, it's all downhill from here. And as I'm like going up this hill, and I'm like, liars, liars, liars. Because I knew I had to come back up the hill the other way. So that was a lot of what was going through my head was, how has this not been 45 seconds yet?
And
And then
liars.
and liars. And then also I was going back and forth with this one person. We were like on opposite intervals. And so my thought process was just stay in front, stay in front, stay in front. Um, Spoiler alert, I did not stay in front.
um, you kind of find somebody in a race that's your similar to your speed, and you always you kind of have a competition with them. Even it's kind of an unspoken competition that you both have with each other, I think, too. Because me and this one guy in particular, we we've beaten each other um, uh, multiple times, but I've gotten the better of him the last several. And on the turnaround, I was looking for him. I was like, "Where's he at?" And he was. I had a little bit of room on him, and I saw that, but my mindset was just. It basically just told. It wasn't necessarily about beating him. It was, but it wasn't. It was about that gauges me, or that allows me to gauge how I'm doing. And basically how much effort do I need to keep up to keep that distance. It's a good way to just kind of measure how I'm doing in the race itself. I'm not going to sit here. I'm not trying to sugarcoat it and say it's competition, but it's not, because it is competition.
Mhm.
But it's mainly it is partially competition with myself too. It's like how hard am I going, and how much harder do I need to go? If that makes sense. Does that make sense at all?
It does.
Okay. Well, well, that's what I thought of just on that turnaround. I'll take you kind of step by step through it. When we started, I felt good. I felt good about my pace. I checked my watch a couple of times, see where first it was I was going like 6 flat, and I was like, well, that's too fast. And so I scaled it back a little bit, and then I got to 6:30, and I think we got there was this one when you start and then you turn right and you go down that road, and this, of course, only something that you'll know what I'm talking about, and maybe people that ran it yesterday. That first turn, you're going down a ways before you turn again and go back toward kind of the start ish area where we were going. I looked down to see how, because I'm thinking, well, we're pretty close to a mile at this point, have to be. I looked down and it's 0.67, I believe is what my watch said. And I'm booking it and I'm thinking, oh my God, it's only 0.67 miles. And so that's when I scaled it back to 6:45, or probably even 6:50. That's probably how I hit 6:42, is because I was just going that hard that early. And that was my first, oh crap, how are we only this far into it? And I'm already getting gassed. When I hit mile one, then I looked at my watch again. That was because I made it a point. I was like, I'm not looking at my watch until we hit 1 mile, and I even thought about not looking anymore because that's how discouraged I was. But when I hit the first mile marker, I looked again. I saw 6:42, and I was like, okay, I'm still ahead of what I want to do, or basically I'm where I'm at or where I wanted to be. And then at 1.3, I was fatigued to the point I said, well, I can't do it. I'm just going to try to stay 7. That was the goal. I'm going to try to stay at 7 because we had that incline and everything. And I just knew I couldn't do it, but I was just trying to stay at 7. And I was thinking, I would have moments throughout the race thinking of like when I'm tired or when I'm going hard, I try to keep. I'm not even telling myself anything. It's mainly moments I think of. I think of training, and the message is basically this is what you prepared for. This is what you prepared for. Leave it all out there, because to me it's a bad feeling. I don't know if there's a worse feeling than finishing a race and somebody beats you that shouldn't beat you, or you know that you could have given more but you didn't. Like, that's a terrible feeling to me. So it is rewarding to go give your all, no matter where you end up, and just know that hey, I gave my best that day, so I'm happy with the result. Uh, but when I hit that 1.3, that's when I was like, okay, let's just try to get to 7. On the turnaround, I looked for that guy, and I saw I had some distance on him. So my thought was, let's just maintain until we get to 1.75. When we get to, because 1.75, that's when I just got a little extra adrenaline boost. I looked down and saw that it was a quarter mile to go, and then I turned it up some. So that's what I did there. And then when I was listening, I was being very alert to everything going on around me, to what the people were saying. And one, if I could hear another reason I hate running with um like earpieces, like earphones, headphones. I want to hear what's going on around me. I want to hear if somebody's coming up like on me. And sometimes there's nothing I can do about it. If I hear somebody coming up on me, it's just like I think, yep, well, they got me. If they want me that bad, they got me. And so, but I was listening for that. Who's coming up on me? Are they giving it their all? Is it taking everything they have to catch me? Or are they just going to pass me no matter what? I have that going on in my head. And, but it was the people I was listening to, because I could tell no one was behind me really or near me. I could just, it was just me. I could just kind of sense that just based on what I was hearing around me. But when that one person said "great job, y'all" instead of like "great job, man," or just making it singular, when they made it was a girl. When she made it plural, that's when I thought somebody's within striking distance. I don't know how close, but somebody's within striking distance. So I'm just going to give my all till I'm through the finish line. And, and I did that, but a girl in my run club actually sent me a video of me finishing. She sent the best photos um, of me there, because I was like, "Hey, thanks for sending these." And I believe I sent them to you, but she sent the video of me finishing, and I was actually disappointed in my finish because I was more concerned with stopping my watch than running all the way through the mat. I could see myself pulling up as I was reaching the mat rather than pulling up after I crossed the mat. And so I'm kind of glad she sent that, because it's like, well, because I always feel like I run through the mat, but looking at it again, it's like, no, I didn't. I should have run through the mat, like both of them, and then I can pull up and stop my watch, etc. I shouldn't be concerned about that. And so I'm actually glad she sent that, because it's like, okay, well, there's something I can work on. But in the moment, you're just thinking of pain and you're trying to find ways to block out the pain. And for me, it's either this is what you train for, or if it's something like that, it's just images. It's of me running when it's just a workout run, and just maybe the stuff I see while I'm running on my normal route, stuff like that. But it's a message, it's a photographic message of this is what you prepared for. Go do it, and just leave it all out there. So that's what goes through my mind in those moments. All right, what else do we want to talk about, Michelle? Because apparently I don't let you talk enough on the show.
Well, what I was also gonna say, one of the things that goes through my head is I do question life choices. And because I this is not something that I necessarily enjoy doing. Um, I
No, you gripe a lot.
yes, I will gripe constantly, and I'm like, I'm gonna be sick. And like I'm sick on Saturday. Um, I try to come up with excuses. My excuse for this one was it's been raining and it's probably that area floods. It's gonna get canceled. So
You were texting me like, I don't know if they're going to have this because that area floods. And I was like, it's a Grand Prix championship race. It's going to have to be prolonged, and it's going to have to be really, really bad for them to cancel it altogether. At worst, they would just delay it or move the course, or like move it down away, something. They would have done something to have that race.
yeah.
But you were almost trying to speak it into existence.
I was trying to speak it into existence that it was going to get canceled because this is just not something. It's one of those things where, they say that when you go to the gym or something like that, you like going to the gym is just terrible. But when you leave, you're like, oh, I'm glad I did that. I would never say I'm glad I did it, but I'm like, okay, it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. So I do question life choices. I would I
You think?
question my
Okay.
friendship with you because I would not be doing this if it if I wasn't friends with you. So I do question a lot of things during the race too.
Going back to what you said, I've never left a workout saying, "Man, I wish I hadn't have done that." Do you
Yeah.
ever feel that about a race?
Not saying like I wish I hadn't done that.
Yes, that's what I mean. Like
Yeah.
you've never left a workout saying, "Man, I wish I hadn't have done that."
No.
But leading up to it, you're like, "Man, I could still be in bed or something."
Yeah, absolutely.
Like I get that.
Yeah.
Um, but I don't know. I do enjoy doing this, but there are days where I'm like, yeah, this is I feel burned out. It's like, yeah, I'll finish up the year doing this, but that's it kind of thing. And I did that last year, and here I am again this year doing it competitively.
Yeah.
Now, like pacing, and I love doing. There's no pressure in that because you're just trying to come in at this certain time rather than just going and giving it your all. You're doing it at a comfortable speed. Trail running, I'm really getting into because I'm not at a point where I'm doing it competitively or really want to. I'm basically just going out and just kind of building my profile as far as trail running goes. So that's really all I'm focused on there. Uh, yeah, the Grand Prix can do that to you. It can make you, if you're running just a competitive race, it can. It's like, man, I could still be in bed, or um, I could go do something else. I don't have to be as prepared for this. I can go home and go lay down rather than go put on the running shoes and go for a long run. But at the end of the day, it is rewarding. I've never left a race saying, man, I wish I hadn't done that.
Yeah.
I always feel better about myself afterward, more confident, just I don't know, more positive about myself. And maybe that's where it started in part. I think the just my love for it. Really, it was the race scene that started it for me. Kind of fell in love with the race scene, especially like the Little Rock Marathon, and really just doing a marathon knowing I could do it. When I had a lot of people telling me, not really, I had one person telling me, my significant other at the time, of all people, was telling me I couldn't do it. I was like, well, I'm going to show you. And I would think the B word afterward. But think it, didn't say it, but I definitely thought it. But I'm kind of glad she did that. It was just that extra gas I needed to cook. So, yeah. All right. Well, before we get out of here, what's to come, Michelle?
Um, we have the Soma 1 mile race in 2 weeks. So that will be our next podcast episode. We'll talk about that. Are we gonna tell them what we're doing next weekend?
Yes, we are. I was. Is that another thing you're trying to not speak into existence?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, well, Michelle is going to run a half marathon next Saturday. I believe Saturday's the date that we decided. We both have a rare week off well, I have a rare week off from an actual race. And so I'm going to run a half marathon with Michelle. Run walk, I imagine we're going to do. We don't have a time
Absolutely.
limit or anything like that. It's going to be hot, but we're going to go do it and we're going to get it done. I'm going to make sure Michelle finishes, or at least I'm going to do my absolute best. It might be a most challenging thing I've ever done, but we're going to do it.
The most
And
challenging thing you've ever done?
getting you to finish this half marathon, yes, it's possible that
It's
that could be
possible.
it.
Yeah, absolutely.
But we have that going on. We also have a vlog coming out that we recorded yesterday, so stay tuned for that. But yeah, until then, we'll see y'all next time. Grand Pal, that's Michelle. Deuces, y'all.
See ya.